This is Quincy Apricot in his childhood home. Our homeboy Quincy was a homebody who had been homeschooled for the last 28 3/4 years. He was what you'd call a mama's boy. Yet one day he decided he would get out of the house and become an explorer. So he walked off the front porch and began his expedition. Already he made an astounding scientific discovery. It appeared to be some sort of rock. What fortune! What other astounding rarities were to be found? He noticed there were other dwellings in this area, much like his mother's house. This area had already been explored and settled. He needed to find some untouched lands. As soon as he left civilization, Quincy spotted something that he'd never seen before. It was like cat litter, but finer and dirtier. This must be what they called pay dirt. What wealth was to be found here on the wild frontier? But Quincy was not out for personal gain. He was an explorer. He was out to discover new worlds for the good of his fellow man. His greatest discovery came in the form of a great river. He decided to brave the waters and chart its course for future merchant vessels. Quincy had a premonition this could be the next Mississippi. He made sure to capture its every twist and turn. On one of his stops, he discovered a new species of creature. It was like a cat, but smaller, and it had wings. He gave it a scientific name and drew its likeness for posterity. Unfortunately, he lost the specimen and his jar of dirt when his boat capsized in a mighty zephyr. Quincy himself almost became lost at ditch, but he managed to swim ashore and save his journal and his rock. Our brave hero continued his perilous journey across sun-scorched land in the blazing 79-degree heat. Along the way, he contracted a horrendous disease. He called it allergies, after something similar that happened to him when he came in contact with dust mites and lint. Fortunately, Quincy survived. Some of the local road-happy raccoons were not so lucky. But he needed to eat somehow. He continued on his trek. Yard after endless yard. His feet were blistered. His tongue was parched. His rock was getting heavy. How could he carry on like this? Would the suffering never end? Just when Quincy was ready to give up, he saw it, like a beacon of sunlight peeking through the underside of an overpass. There it was. His own city of gold! It was perfect. There was food, resources, plenty of lodging space, and it was completely uninhabited. Well, technically there were other people there, but he didn't know them, so they didn't count. He immediately claimed the land for his own and called it Quincy Town. Well, you couldn't read that on the flag because there wasn't much wind, but he claimed it nonetheless. What a discovery! What a fruitful expedition! When Quincy got home, he sent his journal with his discoveries to the National Explorer Society. He even learned to operate a mailbox. He was filled with anticipation. Would the society publish his journal? Would they induct him as a regular member? Or give him special honors? Unfortunately, the Explorer Society did not accept his discoveries. They explained that everyone already knew about rocks and dirt. That bug already had a scientific name, and that unclaimed shopping center was most definitely claimed by the city of Rosenberg. They decided to reject him. So Quincy was not a real explorer after all. He did not make a single new discovery. Turns out, everyone already knew the things he was just learning for the first time. They'd already done the things he'd done much sooner and much better. But at least he did something.